guys. Just wait for some of you to join. Hi Karen. Hi Cynthia. Hi Karen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi Emma. Hi Kat. Hi Dustin. Welcome to April Point Horror Book Club chat, where we'll be talking about April Fools, where the tagline is "It's no joke, it's murder," and this book was no joke, really, was it? So there will be spoilers ahead, so just to pre-warn you, and it will all be quite tongue-in-cheek, but our love for point horror will shine through, but just expect a bit of sarcasm every now and again. So I've got a brilliant guest author tonight, Cynthia Murphy, who is the author of Last One to Die. This book is very point horror, and Cynthia has been a point horror fan for as long as forever. It's supernatural, it's creepy, and it's an absolutely brilliant read. So honestly, check out Last One to Die by Cynthia. And without further ado, I'll add her to the chat, hopefully, if I do it right. Cynthia. Add Cynthia into the chat and we'll get going because we've got lots to say. Hopefully. Hi, Cynthia.
Hi. Sorry,
Hello.
just move my giant face. There we go. Hello.
Your beautiful face.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for joining us. I was just saying you've been a point horror fan for forever and ever, probably as long as me. So what got you into point horror, do you remember? Or...
You know what, I don't, but I remember being in year 6 and writing what would now be described as fan fiction about the cheerleader, because I had this story with Althea in it, because I remember the name was dead cool, and I remember in the Forbidden Game, me and my friend worked out there's a code in it, and we worked it out on a rubber at the back of year 6. So probably inappropriately young.
I love it. And you're wearing the cheerleader t-shirt tonight?
I am. Can't really see it, but I am representing. Yeah.
I'm wearing the teacher's pet tonight. Teacher's pet.
Lovely.
Right, I'm presuming we've got a lot to say about April Fool, so we'll get right into it, because I have heard Instagram can go for 4 hours chatting now. I'm not sure, but we'll
I could probably
stick
do
to an hour. But probably could go for 4 hours.
Yeah.
So April Fools then. So what's it all about? So it starts all very, I know what you did last summer. So down a long winding road on a cliff, which was an apparent shortcut, weird shortcut, 100 miles away from home on April Fool's Day, and the gang have just been to a party. Very cliffhangery tension prologue right at the beginning. So we've got a drunk Frank, more on him later.
Yeah.
We've got Hildy driving, and Belinda is staring through the steamed up back window while it's raining. And the car comes behind them, honking the horn. And then somehow Frank grabs the steering wheel, honks the horn as well, and somehow, I'm not sure how, but he hits the gas pedal, lurching the car forward, and I think hitting the other car, and it goes off the road. And so much that happens just in that short prologue, it's crazy. So, but Frank is the king of fools, so none of this really matters.
No. Especially, the fact that people might be dead. It's fine. It's just, it was an accident.
So you'd think they'd call the police. Evidently not. This is point horror. So they do stop the car. Belinda goes down to the car in the bottom of the gorge to the mangled car wreck. Basically, she can hear someone still alive in there. Hildy and Frank drag her away screaming, "No!" But not before she picks up an old rag off the floor to wipe her bloody cuts all over her face, with a letter A on it, very relevant.
A rich letter A. A
rich letter A.
It shows it's been traumatic. Yeah.
And she sees a shadowy figure on the hill watching them. So flash forward 2 weeks later, they all make, well, Hildy and Frank make the pact to keep it all a secret. Dustin just put Frank is associate.
Yeah, Justin, we're going to get to it, I promise.
We will. I will try and read comments. I just need to remember to keep looking. So if you've got any comments, honestly, just put them up. So yeah, so 2 weeks later, they've made a pact to keep it all a secret because no one will know, right? No one will ever know. But then the creepy packages start. Figures start to chase Belinda through her shortcuts that she tells everyone about.
I was always so confused by that shortcut.
I know.
I always remember it being a really murky memory when I was a kid. And then when I read it back again, I was like, actually, I don't know where she is. She was in a park and then there was an alleyway, but then there was a car park. And no idea.
Random.
And then she fell over and then she was back at the house in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think it was like a long shortcut / loophole.
Yeah.
Hi, Daniel. Yeah, so then there's people appearing at a window in the dark, snakes. I mean, you name it. April Fools kind of had it in there. So yeah, so while we're talking about Belinda and her shortcuts, let's talk about Belinda. Did you like Belinda?
Yeah, I did. I think she's likeable. I wish she had a bit more of a backbone. You know, she just needed to go and tell somebody, didn't she? Not Noel. Not when she was wearing Noel's mum's nightdress. That has stuck with me in the worst way.
I've made a really creepy note about that.
That was weird. Yes, I did like her. I thought she was likeable. She was just a bit of a wet lettuce, wasn't she?
Yeah, well, she was very much a worrier, wasn't she? Like, she worried a lot and she apologised a lot, definitely. And I noticed in April Fools there wasn't much of like physical descriptions of the characters, where normally we get quite like well, especially Belinda, definitely. I think there was like a mention later on that she got like blonde hair, and that's kind of it, unless I just didn't notice it because I was too engrossed by hating Frank.
You're right. I actually imagined her with brown hair, so maybe it just doesn't really say.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
But Hildy has silver hair, which is completely normal for a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
To have.
Completely normal.
Yeah. Mind you, I suppose it is now, but not in the 90s. It was not normal in the 90s.
So Belinda was classed as the best student at her school, and then she did like tutoring on the side. Her mind was always racing in like a million directions, but she was mature, dependable, but she was just terrified of things, but not the things that you might expect. So where I'm going with this is, so Adam scares the poor girl to the point she's like panic stricken and she's in a state, but all she's really worried about is the back gate being left open. She kept going back and putting herself back in that situation that she hated. You know, she kept, and for no reason. I don't think she ever tutored him anything. No, she didn't teach him anything. I wonder if she got paid. Talk to me, just like talk to me. Yeah, and he's like, no, leave me alone. And then, like, so another example is there was a creepy package turned up at her door. Who's it? So normally it'll be like, who's it from? What does it contain? And then shock horror, it's the calendar with a circle of blood around the 1st of April. But Belinda, all she really cares about is why there's no stamp on the envelope. It's like, oh, the pre-Amazon days. Oh, poor Belinda. I know, bless her. But yeah, I was totally team Belinda. I did like her. And this is, as I said earlier, this is going to be spoilery if you haven't read the book. But yeah, sorry. I was Belinda all the way until the end. Yeah, I think that's a normal point horror girl thing, isn't it? Like, no lessons learned. We just move on and we'll probably go and do the same thing again. I mean, I would have believed her and I would have helped her. And I would have gladly have punched Frank in the face for her.
Yeah.
And I'm not a violent person. But I can't forgive that ending. I really can't. I mean, why would you still pine after Noel and keep his, like, handkerchief?
Yeah.
Just...
With no bad memories. Like, oh, it's okay then. I'll keep the handkerchief that I found on the night that, you know, everything went wrong in my life.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Also, handkerchiefs, very 90s again, like, or even older. I bet it was old hat in the 90s to have a handkerchief.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you just don't, you know. No.
It's all retros, but I'm second in line to punch Frank. I think we'll all just like get in a line.
Yeah.
But we'll get to Frank. We'll get there.
Frank's got his own special section.
He's got his own special section. And Belinda also had a really weird bus obsession as well. I picked
like
these like weird things up. She's like, oh, I've got to run for the bus like every 5 minutes, and yeah, and then Belinda. What I did love about Belinda before the ending was that big mall showdown and the showdown.
That's what I was just thinking about. The fact that she didn't get the bus. She wanted to angrily walk in the rain. Yeah. And like build up the momentum all the way back to the school just so she could have it out with Frank. Yeah. Which, yes.
And then obviously when she had it out with Hildy in the mall, I was like, yes! Go Belinda!
And Hildy though, she needed a slap as well.
I mean, yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah, she was shocking. Let's talk about Hildy then while we're talking. So as you mentioned, she had long silvery braids, she had pale cat green eyes,
and she always sucked the end of her braids.
Oh yeah.
Which, oh no.
No. I mean, I think I have to say, when I was younger, I think I did go through a stage of like chewing my hair.
But you probably weren't 17.
No, I was probably a bit younger. Emma's put angry rain walking is totally a 90s thing.
Definitely. Like, I really hope she had her headphones on and she had a Walkman in her pocket and she just had the right song to do it to. Like, really angry walking to the Cruel Intentions soundtrack. Yeah.
And apparently it's all retros, but Hildy was such a bitch, worst friend ever. Yeah, she really, really was.
She was awful.
She was so awful. I mean, she loved a miniskirt. These are like the notes that I've made. But she loved a miniskirt, but she was the most uncaring friend ever. She was always trying to convince Belinda that things were all in her head and not actually happening.
Yeah, they were the worst gaslighting friends ever. And it was all, you're making a really big deal of this, Belinda. We're worried about you. And she was like, but wouldn't, you know, we might have killed somebody and Frank was drunk and you were driving and we're underage. And like, you know, come on, guys. And no, she was like, no, calm down.
No. I mean, I'm sure, not Belinda, Hildy. I'm sure Hildy's catchphrase was, stop, I don't want to hear this anymore, and along with, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like to Belinda, like all the time. Dustin's put, Hildy is a horrible name. Who names their child this?
See, with the braids and the name Hildy, I do think of like an old German lady in like traditional dress. That's what I imagine when I think of Hildy, like this little lederhosen clad kind of. Obviously, she probably didn't look like that.
Just like a really bitchy version. She just wasn't like a bitchy point horror best friend. You know what I mean by that? But she was just so.
Yeah, she wasn't good, was she? She wasn't cool. She wasn't like, yes, you're such a cow, I can get on board with you. She was just really repetitive. And she always accused Belinda of wanting Frank.
Yeah.
Always.
And like Belinda just always said, no, I really don't.
Yeah,
maybe
really don't.
Way back when I was like younger.
7. Yeah.
But no way now. And Frank, I think we're gonna have a rant about Frank, you know.
I think it's Frank time, isn't it?
Brewing.
Yeah.
But just on Hildy though, do you actually think she might have been scared of Frank a little bit? I
I think she might have been more scared of what she would have been if she didn't have him, because she was so two-dimensional. If he wasn't her boyfriend, would she just like be a nobody? You know, was that her ticket to popularity? And because she was completely like, wasn't she? She had no personality.
Yeah, and plus she was in on the pranks.
Yeah.
I mean, what a bitch. That's no.
That was a bit unsatisfying actually, because she was in on a couple of the pranks, but then we were never clear whether Frank did the rest of them or whether it was Adam and Noel. And there's a podcast I listen to called Teen Creeps, and they talk about point horrors, and they always say that Richie Tankersley Cusick loves a busy villain. So loves a villain who is everywhere, doing everything all the time. And when you look back, you think, how on earth did you manage to do all of those things? And this was the perfect example. There was stuff going on everywhere, but we never got the answer to who actually did what. True.
Yeah. And definitely, that's definitely right about a busy villain, because I know like in Fatal Secrets, like the villain in that is very busy.
Yeah.
Like constant. And you're like, how did they have time to do all of that? So yeah, that's definitely right.
She likes
them. So I just noticed something from Emma. Emma's put, who in their right mind could put up with Frank? Yeah, no, definitely can't put up with Frank at all.
She was just very vapid, wasn't she? She just kind of went, oh yeah, you're very funny. Like,
and like literally all my DMs like over the month, like thank you like anyone who's messaged me, because they were all like, I hate Frank.
I've had a couple as well.
I hate him too.
I've had a couple. Yeah, Frank is universally hated.
Yeah. And then someone's put, Hildy had no depth. She had so many chances to redeem herself, but she chose to make Belinda feel like she was overreacting.
Every time. Like, all the time.
Yeah, definitely. And Frank and Hildy were terrible friends. She totes was shallow.
Yeah, very shallow. Proper 90s girls shallow as well.
Yeah. Right, well, I can't hold off anymore. We've got to address the elephant in the room, which is vile Frank.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call him, douchebag.
I think the word might have been invented for him.
Oh, God. Well, I wrote down some, like, I don't want to say classic Frank dialogue, but some Frank dialogue that made me go...
Yeah.
So... Okay, I'll just read them out. So, is this a fight? No hair pulling or blouse ripping without the referee. He grinned wickedly.
Ugh.
Come to think of it, any kind of stimulation certainly wouldn't hurt me.
Oh, he's just the worst. I know you're going to say one that is really gross, and I know it's coming.
Okay, I might not have, because I only wrote a few down, so you'll have to tell me. So, well, aren't we feeling just a tiny bit paranoid today? I was like, and then the last, oh no, I've got two more. Well, tell that to your neurotic friend. Tell her to forget it instead of driving the rest of us nuts. And it was just like, and then the last one, which might be the one you're thinking of, is, okay, I'll do penance. I promise. 50 lashes with Hildy's tongue, or would you like to volunteer? Oh, God.
And you know what? That was rude for a point horror.
Yeah.
Like, that was filth. I can't believe I read that as a child. Mind you, I would not have understood at all. But, yeah. I just, like, a little bit of vomit.
My blood boil. I know, I think Karen, who's on the chat, she messaged me at some point and she said, oh, I'd like to batter him with a wet fish. And I was like, yes, I really would.
He was that typical, like, 90s movie jock who shoved people into lockers and get people wedgies and was horrible, but everyone thought he was amazing. And he walked around like proclaiming himself the king of fools.
King of fools.
Playing these jokes. So he played jokes on Belinda about the fact that she was worried they might have killed somebody, because he was so unworried about the fact that they might have killed someone. It seemed like a really fun opportunity to like make Belinda feel worse, and then call her neurotic all the time.
Oh,
he was evil. I enjoyed his comeuppance at the end where he couldn't make jokes anymore. That was like, that's what happened to him after all the trauma.
Was he unconscious in that car? I think
he was completely useless. He didn't even redeem himself. I was hoping he was in the trunk and he would just go over, but no. They shouldn't have saved him.
No, definitely. Cobbs should have like just said, "Oh, let's just get Belinda out and let Hildy and Frank go over the cliff."
Yeah.
Oh, what a shame. Justin's put, something tells me Frank was compensating for something. Usually class cut-ups and sexually charged boys are very insecure.
Yeah, maybe he had issues that he couldn't fully come to terms with.
Possible. What other notes have I made about him? So he claimed he loved Hildy, but he treated her badly. I mean, those lines that I've just read out, some of them were to Hildy and to Belinda, but he treated her so bad. I mean, why?
Because he was popular, so it was okay.
Oh dear. And let's not forget though that he did miss swim practice to go to that party and get drunk, which is what started it all off. So, you know, he just put himself out there. I'm being really sarcastic.
Yeah, I was going to say, so it's all his fault.
Well, yeah, it is really. Yeah. The whole thing is his fault.
Yeah, completely.
And then obviously he was did some of the pranks, but as you say, we don't know fully all of them, but definitely the calendar, the doll's head.
I think that was Adam.
Do you?
I do, because of the I think, because I was a bit shocked that Adam was actually about it. I didn't remember that bit.
No, I didn't actually. Come to think of it, I did think it all the way through. I thought, I remember this. It's Noel.
Yeah,
like
me
all
too.
the way through.
Yeah,
but I forgot about Adam.
Yeah, same. I thought he was just going to be like moody and a red herring. And then actually he was a proper psychopath. So I can see him stitching up this doll's face to like look like him. I can see that happening.
Okay. Yeah, actually, now you say. No, I never thought that. I just thought it was like douchebag Frank doing it all.
I don't think he'd be that creative.
No.
I think like the calendar that was
it.
You know, yeah. Maybe the whispering outside the window.
Oh yeah,
that
I think Frank. That was definitely Frank, definitely.
Yeah.
And then like the way he used to say, "Oh, car wrecks happen every day." Like, oh, God. Honestly. Anyway, take a deep breath.
Frank is
Yeah.
Frank can go in the bin.
Yeah. Cameron's put, he had zero redeeming qualities though, no reason for his behaviour at all.
Yeah, complete.
Emma's put, Frank couldn't be bothered. Yeah, I think that sums up our feelings. So talking about Adam then, what did we think of Adam? Did you like Adam, or what?
I mean, he'd served his purpose. He was creepy.
Yeah, he was written creepy.
He was
creepy,
and he was always in the shadows. And then you know, Cobbs told his little story, and you wonder, oh, was he this abused child, and has that messed him up? And because that was quite, when I was reading that, I thought, oh my gosh, there's some quite big issues there. But yes, I enjoyed when he just turned out to be an absolute raving lunatic, because I had thought he was a red herring. So when he was the proper kind of full like ice pick, he had an ice pick. That's the total point horror thing. Oh, I've never read about ice picks in any other books ever, but he had one, and when he was like trailing it down her face. Actually, did Richie Tankersley Cusick write them all?
Yes, she did. Yes.
Because there's an ice pick in that, and it's on the face and stuff in that one. Love that book.
Yeah, as well.
So maybe it's her thing. Maybe
that's her like MO.
Yeah,
is that the right word?
An ice pick. Yeah,
make it sound like a bit of a but no, Adam was definitely he was the perfect hostile, difficult, evil looking evil seeing, evil doing character. I mean, I just kind of loved him. Like,
I did.
I don't know why. I just liked him because that he was written how he was, and that's just kind of why I liked him.
He wasn't hiding anything, was he? He was just like, yes, no. I am completely insane, and you know, there you go.
Lucy's put, I remember loving Adam when I first read it in the 90s and being devastated when he turned out bad.
Oh.
Reading it now, he was super creepy.
Yeah, he was creepy.
Yeah, and Emma hoped he'd be the love interest. That would have been interesting, actually.
It would have been interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been a good dynamic, actually, wouldn't it? A bit Beauty and the Beast type.
Yeah. No, definitely. Adam was, I just missed one. It's not good. Adam was trying to be all mysterious in the shadows, but as time went on, I found him and his cryptic lines annoying. That's probably all retro. Kirsty's put, I was convinced Adam was a red herring all the way through the book. So really, Richie Tankersley Cusick did what I think she set out to do. He was meant to be the kind of red herring, but she was quite obviously making him not. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, but it would take finishing the book to go back and realise.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Look how deep these point horrors go.
She's good though, isn't she? She does write well. They stand up to the test of time, because there's a few that are really not great, but yeah, Richie Tankersley Cusick ones seem to hold up, I think.
Yeah, she was always my favourite when I was younger, and like now, like she still is my favourite.
Yeah.
If I'm honest. Karen's put, was Richie just super ticked off at the men in her life, as
Maybe.
none of them were generally nice guys? Thought she was getting her anger out in fiction. That's interesting.
Oh, Karen, and can we talk about the cream in the tea? Right, this I remember this from the first time I read it, and I thought, cream in tea is a British thing. I've never tried that, and I tried it, and it is the most disgusting thing ever. Sorry, dog. And I must have been 10, and it stuck with me ever since. Cream in tea is just a no. She makes it sound like it's the most glamorous thing in the world, and it's just like, oh.
And it's the most civilised thing to do.
And it curdles when you do it. Yeah. Oh, no, Cobbs.
I've never tried it.
Don't.
I've never tried the cream in tea.
Yeah, you're not missing out.
But yeah, maybe I'll have to try it just to say I've tried it. So I think in the cheerleader chat, we made up this thing saying, oh, go on.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I think it was a miss. Like, I think it was her reading in as an American to the British having a cream tea, you know, like scones and cakes and things like that.
Yeah,
and I think she's like, it's been mistranslated, and she's thought that we actually put cream in tea.
Oh, that's probably it. Oh, dear. But I was just going to say, last time in the cheerleader chat, there was like a Big Mac challenge that me and Amy were joking about. So maybe we'll have to have Big Mac challenge and then like cream in tea challenge, just to see.
Just to have a go.
See what it's like. A point horror challenge. Yeah. So we were talking about Adam, weren't we, as well? So so obviously had tragic backstories as well, and I think did his aunt and uncle die in an accident, or was it a mention of his ex-girlfriend or something in an accident? So he was very associated with accidents.
Yeah, the aunt and uncle one.
Run a mile.
That was definite, like, full-on exposition. It was Cobbs just going, oh, but wait, there is this tragic backstory. And that was the aunt and uncle who abused him, or he said abused him, and he supposedly grabbed the wheel. But at that point, I was kind of like, yeah, good on you, Adam. Like, I don't really blame you.
No, definitely. Karen's put, I was more angry about the tea than about Frank.
It was just horrendous.
No, definitely. I've had a lot of DMs as well about the cream in the tea. So I loved it. That was brilliant. So let's talk about Cobbs then, while we're talking about the cream tea. I loved him.
He's so funny. I just imagined him as a mixture between Geoffrey from the Fresh Prince and Lurch from the Addams Family. Like he was like the perfect combination.
Oh yeah. Oh, just quickly, Emma's put, what were the snakes about? So that kind of ties in with Cobbs a little bit, because he was like looking after the snakes because they were Mr. Thorne's snakes. So he was looking after them while Mr. Thorne was dying in the hospital.
I think they were just a metaphor, weren't they, in the end? Because I was expecting something to happen with them, and it just didn't.
No, apart from like the snake being let loose in Belinda's bedroom.
Yeah.
When the door was locked, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you lock the door?
So did Noel put it in there first?
I think Noel put it in there.
Or Adam put it in there first?
I think when he came in, thinking he was going to get a little bit when she's in night dress.
Oh, don't. I think it was my favourite scene, but it was also my least favourite scene. It was one that I genuinely was like, no.
Oh, no. I mean, putting her in his mum's night dress, coming in the room without knocking, and then
the best one was
almost getting down to
better on you than it does on her. Do you remember that line?
No. Yeah.
Horrible.
And then, like, I think then he planted the snake, so the snake was a little metaphor for his little snake. Maybe. Oh,
nice.
Oh God, yeah. So Emma's put, maybe he shoved the snake under the door. No, I think he brought it down his trousers, Emma. Like, just let it loose.
Oh God.
But yeah, some people.
I didn't even think of that.
My mind goes to very weird places, Cynthia. Honestly, you don't want to know. But part-time squids put, maybe because the brothers were snakes, so the snake was a metaphor. So
yeah, I think so.
So back to I think so as well. So back to our favourite ever person, Cobbs. I just loved him. So he was from England, and he was like pale, 6 feet tall, calm, hooded eyes, and thin, white receding hair. So he was like an older man. He had like quite an angular face apparently, and he just kept the house all running smoothly. But I think he was actually a classic red herring as well. But we all knew that he wasn't going to be Cobbs. Did anyone suspect Cobbs? Like, I just
no.
And then he had like that black. Oh, I just loved him. He had like that black starch suit. I think I had a little bit of a fangirl on Cobbs. You know? That's so shameful. But he was always very stiff. Yeah,
very proper and British, and yeah.
I noticed a lot of stiff talk when it came to Cobbs. Again, mind. But yeah, he was never really sure about Adam and Noel, I think, as well. Like, I think he always had his suspicions, and then lucky for Belinda that he did. And then he had that little car telephone. Oh, bless him.
That was so funny at the end. I rang on the car telephone as soon as I knew. You could just imagine him.
I just love him. But
that was definitely, though, an editor's note. Somebody went to Richie Tankersley CUSICK at the end. No, how did he know? How did he find out? And she was like, car telephone. They were rich, car telephone. So definitely shoved in at the end that.
I reckon as well. But as well as, like, I made a note, now go with me on this, but he kind of reminded me of Snape before we knew who Snape was. so Snape from Harry Potter. Like,
right.
just the way, like, his sarcasm more than anything. I know that's a little bit of a way out there thought, but it was just the sarcasm that he... Oh, it was just so funny.
He was very sarcastic. I do wonder as well, like, if American teenagers at the time kind of understood that, because I remember when I was younger, there was a big, like, sarcasm divide, wasn't there? I always felt like Americans didn't understand that kind of sense of humour as much. Maybe I'm really generalising. Sorry if I am. But so it was a lot of sarcasm in A Point Horror, because you didn't usually get it.
Karen's put, I thought he was lying about being from England. Karen, that's Cobbs. Because his speech was off and he was also stalking in the shadows. Okay, not little Cobbs.
No, Cobbs was just very, like, old school British. If you would, if you'd watched films with butlers and things in, that was one of those to a T, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely. And Kirsty's put lots of Snapey sass.
Yeah, he was sassy, wasn't he?
Yeah. So, Wolf BA3. Oh, I'm not sure whether I'm saying that right.
Wolf
Sorry, lovely. He was majorly sarcastic. So I've got some examples of his sarcasm that made me laugh. So I'll just pick a few because I made quite a few notes. So Mrs. Thorne says, I don't have any idea what to wear. Cobbs says, how about a gag, madam? She says, how about my bag? That was just brilliant. Mrs. Thorne again, we'll have a little chat about Mrs. Thorne in a second, but Mrs. Thorne, between Fred and Adam, I'll just go out of my mind, won't I, Cobbs? And Cobbs goes, right into the straitjacket, madam. Let me pick another one. Oh, about the snakes, Belinda says, but aren't you afraid they'll get out? Across from her, the old man's face remained bland. I live in terror.
He was a good character, wasn't he?
Oh, he was so good.
I bet she had a lot of fun writing him.
Yeah, and my favourite Cobbs line, I think, was when Belinda says, but I can't wait, isn't Noel back yet? And he goes, yes, he's invisible. He was just so great. Oh, I just loved it. I just want him to, like, come to my house and make me tea with cream in so I can be civilised for a change.
Well, what an ending. What a final chapter where Cobbs rocks up at the house and he's like, madam, I believe you are in need of a domestic servant. Oh. And because he's rich now, he just, like, becomes the maid.
Oh, he can come and be my maid. Oh, no, like in like a maidish way.
But I can just see him in this little, like, 2 up, 2 down house with Belinda and her mum, and, like, he's lived in this massive mansion. And it's like, where's he going to sleep? What's he doing? Has he got his own house? Does he live there? I don't know.
All of the snakes. What did they do with the snakes?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
But just Sasha, the dog, when Belinda says, oh, and Sasha will have to come, that was the only bit I didn't really like Cobbs, because he was like, dog.
Yeah, he wasn't very keen on Sasha.
He wasn't a fan, was he? No.
So we'll just quickly talk about Mrs. Thorne, and then we'll talk about Noel. Definitely, we can't miss Noel out. So yeah, Mrs. Thorne. Now, I know that she was described as having, like, blonde hair, and she was tall and severe looking with cold eyes, layers of makeup to cover the bruising from the accident that she was in. And I love that whole scene when she was in the principal's office, and she's wearing, like, that black veiled hat, and she just, like, peels the veil back. Very dramatic. But she was I just loved her because she was such, like, a bitchy character. But I imagined her to be like, do you know the actress Melinda Clark? So she was in the OC and she played Lady Heather in
Julie in the OC. She had red hair.
Yes, that's it. So I know she's got red hair, but every time I read Mrs. Thorne, that's who I was picturing. I could just imagine her playing that like so well.
Oh, I thought of like an older woman who a bit more school marmish and like with like pulled back hair and, you know, very coiffed and in a little business suit. And it's funny, isn't it? But that just shows there was definitely not much description of the characters.
No, definitely. And I mean, we wasn't really upset when we found out that she was brown bread at the end.
No, gosh, that happened very fast as well. I hadn't realised that she was missing. And then and all of a sudden, you know, they were vaguely worried about her, and then she was just dead.
Yes. Well, she went off on her business trip, didn't she? And Noel was meant to have taken her to the airport rather than Cobbs. But yeah, and the way that she just goes into the school and like speaks to the oh god, that headmaster was creepy.
Yes, and as a teacher, I had serious issues with his safeguarding. It was awful. He was like, yes, go to this house with this strange woman because she will pay you money, and go on, it'll look really good on your transcript. There was even though she was sat there going, oh, he's absolutely awful. He's a total psychopath. He doesn't want to be tutored and he'll make her life miserable. And the head teacher's like, yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
Off you pop. And I just thought, no, terrible.
And like Karen's put, there was no data protection in the book. The school was so happy to show pics of Belinda and order her to go to the stranger's home.
The head teacher showed a photograph to what? No. Yeah.
Oh god.
GDPR was not a thing, was it?
No. But he was like, that headmaster was like a bit, I'm going to say he was pervy as well, because whether it's just the way I read it, but he was like, when Belinda walked in the office, he's like, oh, I wasn't sure if you were dressed for the gym yet. It's like, I don't know, maybe it was me. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, she seems to have the magic touch, and gave her a little sly wink.
Ew, that's horrible. Yeah.
No,
totally
he was, yeah. But we've gone off about the principal. But yeah, so let's talk about Noel.
Yeah.
I don't really know where to begin, but he was the love interest.
He was. How old was Noel? That was my thought through quite a lot of it. Like, how old was he?
I thought they said he was. Oh no, that might have been Adam who they said was 18.
Adam was 18 because it was his 18th birthday on April Fool's, wasn't it? And he nearly died. And but Noel was at college.
Yeah.
And he had his own car, which I think is quite common in the States,
like
isn't it?
Mercedes, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he seemed to have quite a lot of life experience, and then he was like knocking around with 17-year-old Belinda, and it was a bit grim, wasn't it?
It was a little bit, but he did sweep everyone up like with his charm, and like even Belinda's mom, she was like, oh,
just seemed like a nice guy, didn't he? And he had his dog, and they say dogs are a good judge of character, and you know,
he did bring the dog. At least he brought something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think there was some backstory for him as well. Like his dad died when he was 13. So Noel was Mrs. Thorne's son.
Yeah.
And Adam was Mr. Thorne's son. That's right, isn't it?
Yes. So Mrs. Thorne hated Adam, didn't she? She was stuck with him and didn't want to be.
Oh, they'll be stuck with him. So Noel's real dad died when he was 13. And he was so good at weaving stories. Like, I don't know. I didn't like him, but I don't know whether some of his stories, you know, like the stories he was telling about Adam, do you think they were all true, or do you think he was like obviously going along with this plan?
I was really disappointed at the end that he still tried to be a nice guy. I felt like he just needed to own the fact that he was being awful.
What was that about?
Yeah, and he kept going to Belinda, I didn't want to involve you. Like, it was fine that he was going to kill her best friends, as trashy and horrible as they were.
Yeah.
But there was a line that he said when he said, that's the thing about money. If you've never had it, once you get it, it makes you greedy, you want more. And then he goes, and that's what my mum's like. And I thought, oh, that's the little bit where he gives himself away.
Yeah.
So I was fully expecting it to be him, but yet when Adam walked in and they kind of looked at each other, I was like, oh,
yeah,
I'm quite excited.
Such a good moment though. It's like classic.
It was
moment.
really cinematic actually, because you kind of saw Adam coming out of the shadows with his mangled face, and then Noel just appears, doesn't he? And she thinks she's safe, and then she realizes that she's not.
Oh, Noel, save me!
Oh God. I know.
Oh dear, but I did do a little cheer when she did try and dump him.
Yeah, but then it was because
it was a line.
It was for her own good, his own good, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was very much like, oh, this is for you, Belinda. Oh, you know, I look after you and this, and all along he was like plotting with Adam. But that scene in the hallway, that was a really good scene.
It was a good scene, yeah.
Like the whole tension there as well. It was really good. But you did have all the makings of a really good love interest.
He did.
He did. Like, and he was the classic like Point Horror look as well, with like the sun bleached hair and the
sandy hair, like surfer kind of tanned. And Adam was the dark and brooding one, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, definitely. And then like I think teen me, when I read this book, was probably like swept up in the Noel.
Yeah, well, this is it. I wonder if I kind of didn't like him too much because I'd remembered that he was involved, so I was waiting for him to like do something anyway.
No, definitely.
I am a bit worried though. I think teen me would have been like an Adam fan.
Yeah, unfortunately. I think teen me was as well. I'd be like, oh,
I can change him, I can fix him. Yeah.
But as we mentioned earlier, I can't forgive that bedroom scene.
No.
I really can't.
No. Just to clarify for anyone who can't remember the bedroom scene, it was Belinda had to stay over because she was poorly and Mum wasn't home, and then Noel brings in this white silk bed gown and he goes, it's my mum's, but it will look better on you. So she wears it and it said the word breasts, and I was like,
yeah,
said,
that's quite
breasts. I know. Like she was looking at the lace on her breasts, and then he walked in and he was like, oh yes, I knew it would look nicer on you. But like, oh no. And then also he's just probably killed his mum when you look back at the end of the story.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, I know, like there's some massive issues there.
Yeah, that's a little bit weird.
Huge issues.
Yeah, I never thought about that he just bumped his mum off.
Yeah.
A week or so later, he's sticking Belinda in her nightie and going, oh, sexy times.
I don't even think it was a week. I think it was like the next day, or I think it was really soon because it was after the picnic, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was really picnic where nothing happened. And then Belinda was like, and I looked really sadly around at all the people who I wasn't friends with and thought maybe I should have been friends with them. But I wouldn't. Like Belinda.
Lucy's put, I was definitely team Adam in the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I do think I would have been team Noel in the 90s, but I was team Adam this time. Definitely. 100%.
To be honest, I don't think I would have been that picky in the 90s. I think I would have like just happily one or the other.
Some bleached hair and that's it.
My hormones would have just happily settled for either, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It's All Retro said Noel should have known better. He let himself down and let the readers down. Oh,
he did, yes, totally. Yeah,
definitely. And Emma's put he was the obvious killer because he was too nice. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, too nice. Those too nice boys will always get you though.
Well, yeah, definitely. So who have we missed out? I have to just mention as well that I was talking to Georgia I think you know Georgia, Cynthia, and we were chatting.
Georgia bought me this T-shirt.
Ah,
she did.
Oh no, I think this is Georgia Face. I think she is on Instagram.
Oh, George on Twitter. Yes.
Yeah, and I was chatting to her because we was messaging, and she said that April Fools was like a PG VC Andrews book, and that basically she really made me laugh because when we were talking about Mrs. Thorne, she said she reckons Mrs. Thorne's bruising, she suspects fillers.
Well, you know what? I've never read any VC Andrews.
I haven't, to be honest.
I can't believe it. Yeah, and I keep hearing. So I think on my summer reading list, I'm going to have to read Flowers in the Attic.
Yes.
But I remember a girl reading it at, again, primary school, and it was probably way too early. And I remember her being a bit traumatized by it. So I never read it. And obviously I know kind of the themes that are in it, so I'm not surprised she was traumatized.
No, definitely.
What a way to learn about the birds and the bees.
Oh dear, I might read that myself actually.
Yeah, we'll do a co-read in the summer.
Yeah, definitely. And then she also said as well that basically she should Richie Tankersley Cusick should have just sacked off all the kids in the book and just done fan fiction on Mrs. Thorne and Cobbs. And I was like,
that would have been good. I wonder if that exists anywhere on the internet.
Yeah, we'll have to like go to like the dark web.
Yeah.
There's anything there.
Oh God, disturbing.
And normally as well in Point Horrors, I normally pick up about fashion, like dodgy fashion, but in this book, whether it was just me, I didn't pick anything up at all. Like there was no clothes description. Like that's why I think it may have like aged quite well as well, because like you could pick this book up and not know that it was like in the 90s.
Yeah, just the lack of like mobiles and internet, but then the story didn't need them, so you could get away with it.
There was like a mention of a fax somewhere as well. And I was like,
no, it wasn't. It was a facsimile. Mrs. Thorne had sent a facsimile. So we should have known she was dead then, to be fair, when she sent a facsimile.
We should have guessed. But yeah, we get 2 dead people as well in April Fools. Yay! Because it's like I put to you on Twitter, like, pile the bodies up and I like it more. Yeah. I think one Point Horror, I can't remember which one, it was just like piling the bodies up. I think there ended up being like 5 dead people in it, and I was like, yes! More death!
Yeah, it makes it more gives it a bit more urgency, doesn't it? Yeah. You know, rather than just, you know, like R.L. Stine is the king of like a scare prank, isn't he? At the end of a, you know, something it'd be like, and then I felt it tighten around my neck, and then the next chapter will be, oh, it was just my hair in the wind, and it will be like completely ridiculous.
Oh yeah, you gotta love him. Love him.
Definitely.
So do you think April Fools on a scare factor scale, what do we think? Do you think it was quite scary? I think some bits were quite creepy.
No, I didn't.
No.
I don't remember being scared by it when I was younger either. It's more of like a mystery, I think, rather than a horror. I do the whispering outside the window, I think, and was there a bit where I might be getting mixed up with something else now? Was there a bit where she thought she'd locked the door and hadn't, or that might be another one?
Oh, I can't remember that.
So there was a couple of little bits that I thought, oh yeah, you'd be quite unsettled if you were a young and reading it for the first time. But I think I'm too old and jaded now.
Like the mutilated doll, that would have freaked. That was scary.
I did like that, and the fact that it smelled, the fact that she put in that it had this smell, that was because it made you think like, oh well, where's that come from? That's.
But then, like, who? Like, you open your mailbox, like, and you can smell a smell. Why would you put your hand in the mailbox and pull out the thing that you're like freaked out about before you've even seen it?
Yeah,
I certainly wouldn't do that.
And also, once you put your hand in and like feel the goo, surely you would just pull it out. And
oh dear,
I do. Yeah, I liked that because actually on the cover, she's not got there's no
Yeah.
stitches. And for me, that was the creepiest bit, the fact that they'd cut this doll's face up and then
Yeah.
I think it said it was like sloppily stitched back together. So I just imagine these big black stitches. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I found like the whole snake stuff creepy because I've just got a phobia of snakes. Just from when I was younger, where I was standing on some steps barefoot and one just went straight across my feet.
Oh
then,
my gosh. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it was in the countryside. We used to like have like a little chalet thing down there, and I was standing on these steps and this snake just went straight across my feet. And like ever since then, snakes, no. Anything to do with snakes, no.
Oh
definitely
no.
Not.
Well, you were very brave to put that filter on then with it all over your face.
Oh dear, oh, I'm such a goofball. I have too much fun doing stuff like that. So overall, just to wrap up, because I think we're coming up to time, so if it does cut off, I do apologise because I've lost track. But yeah, to sum up, was it any good? Did we like it?
Yes.
Yeah, I liked it.
And I do think it was well written.
Yeah.
So she did a good job. Busy villain though. Yeah.
I just find anything, I'd struggle to find anything wrong with Richie Tankersley Cusick's point horror. I'm a real big fan, and like I did interview her on my blog as well, and I was like proper, like there's like a written interview that I did a few years ago, and I was like, I can't tell you, I had no chill. I was like, oh, I'm talking to Richie.
Yeah, she's good. I like a lot of her books, actually. I do. I now want to go back and read them all again, because it just, that ice pick bit has reminded me of the craziness of that book.
We read them all for Point Horror Club Book Club the first time round. I'm sure we did. Yeah, we did. And I do like that one. It is really good.
It is a good one. Yeah, but yes, thumbs up. Really enjoyed it.
Well, I hope that you've all enjoyed the chat, and thanks Cynthia for like joining me. Honestly, it's like been so much fun, and we've been chatting for years, like mainly about Point Horror on like social media, and like we've actually never met in real life.
I know.
Tragedy. I think we've been at like Yelp together at the same time, I think. And like,
have we? I've only been once, would you believe it?
I think I was there, but I mustn't have realised you were there. Otherwise, I would have been like, Cynthia! Point Horror!
I know. Need a Point Horror stand at the next one.
Yes, definitely. Or a little Point Horror book club meet.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
That would be so good.
Definitely.
But thank you, and I've really enjoyed it. And thanks to everyone for their comments. And like, honestly, throughout the month, like when people are messaging me, like when they're reading the book as well, and it just makes me so happy, and I just love talking about Point Horror.
Me too.
So thank you guys. I've got another guest lined up for next month, and I'll put a vote up tomorrow for what month are we in? May. Oh, God, gone so quick.
Yeah.
So I'll put a vote up for the May read, and then I'll announce the guest as well. But thank you so much. And
thank you for having me.
Because it's like brilliant, and very Point Horror. If you like Point Horror, you will really love this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.